Hey buddies, so basically in today's GFG POTD we have a problem. Find rectangle with corners as 1. So basically it is a medium level problem, and as the question given here, given an n cross m binary matrix mat containing only zeros and ones, determine if they exist a rectangle with within the matrix such that all four corners of the rectangles are 1. If such a rectangle exists, returns true, otherwise we have to return false. So basically in the given problem we have a matrix, and which is like 2D matrix, where we have to like return where we have to just check whether its corner is having like 1 or not. Okay, like talking about this particular example here. In example first we have a matrix, so if we actually checking here from the like rows, first rows and columns, so here it starts from 1, but here it is not actually 1. Basically we have to check all those four corners. If all those four corners will be like 1, then here we have to simply return 1. Okay, so is there any other pairs is actually found inside this matrix? So by checking it we can say yeah, this things. Okay, and here we can say that every four corners is having 1. So yeah, it is valid corners at the index 1 2. Okay, which is like our first row, and yeah. Okay, and similarly if we're talking about the second example here, so here we don't have any value which is 1, so here we have to simply return false. And here as we can simply, here in the example 1 we actually getting this thing. Okay, yeah, so we have to solve this problem with an expected time complexity of order of n cross m square, and within an expected auxiliary space of order of n, and this question is like again Flipkart. Okay, so let's try to solve this question here first, and it is like completely based on matrix and data structure. So let's try to understand this question first. Here we have to just simply return in a boolean form. That means either we have to return true or false. If they exist, then we have to simply return true, else we have to simply return false. Okay, so first of all we have to like define their sizes, and we know very well how we have to define the size of the matrix. So for that, here we have defined int n is equal to matrix dot size, mat dot size, which basically defines the size of rows. Similarly we have to define the size of column here, so int m is equal to mat dot size. Okay, so yeah, like that we can simply define our size of rows and size of columns. Like now once we have defined the size of rows and columns, here we need to traverse and check for the values. So here first of all we have to traverse point I is equal to 0, I is less than n, and then I plus plus. Similarly we have to also like traverse it for int j is equal to we can check it for again 0 also. Okay, or we can simply say that for I plus 1. Okay, that means the next value. Okay, then j is like less than n, then j plus plus, and then after that these two values are like completely like traversing for the, we actually going to check for the rows purpose. Okay, now here we have to like define one let's say count, if we can say that whether it is having all those four corners having 1 or not. So here we have to define some value in count, which are basically used to check and like increment whether it will check whether the value is like found or not. Okay, so again here what we'll do, here we have defined int count as 0, and again we have to define int k is equal to we can say that 0, which is basically traversing for the column. So here we can say that k is less than m, which is the size of column, and then k plus plus. Now here we have to check the main condition. Let's say if we have, if matrix of for I value, okay, I, and that means for the first row, and the k, which means for the column, okay, is equal to 1. Okay, and we have to also give logical and condition. That means for the next condition, here we have to check if the second, that means j and k, is also like equal to 1. That means yeah, we have corners. That means here we have considered corner. Okay, let's say we can corner plus plus. Okay, corner plus plus, and we have just simply changed this value also, not count. Let's make it corner. Okay, corner plus plus, and if it will be there, then we can say here after doing these things we can check if Here from here, after just coming out from this loop, here we can check if our count value or corner is like greater than or equal to 2. That means if it will be there, then here we have to simply return true value. Okay, that means you're having all those corners which is having 1. Okay, else we have to simply return false. Okay, let's try to compile and run. What is there here? Okay, here I've done mistake here. Matrix mat of 0 dot size. Yeah, now again let's try to compile and run. Yes, compilation is completed. Let's try to submit it. So that's submitted. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching.